Something has already begun to move, quietly, almost invisibly, in a place you cannot see yet deeply feel. You may not understand why your heart has been shifting lately, why certain thoughts appear and disappear like whispers in the wind, but there is a reason for this stirring, and it is not random. There is someone, yes, someone very real, standing at the edge of a decision that could change both your lives forever. They have been holding something close to their heart, something they have rehearsed in silence more times than you could ever imagine. Words, simple words, yet heavy with meaning. A question that carries the weight of a lifetime. And still, something is holding them back. Pause for a moment, feel that. Because what you sense right now is not doubt. It is not fear in the way you think. It is something deeper, something more precise. Something that only becomes clear when the timing is not yet aligned. They are ready, or at least, they believe they are. But readiness is not the same as divine alignment. And this is where everything begins to shift. There are moments in life when everything appears to be falling perfectly into place, when emotions are strong, intentions are pure, and the next step seems obvious. This is one of those moments. They have reached a point where their heart can no longer stay silent. They have imagined your reaction, the way your eyes might soften, the way your energy might respond, the way everything might finally make sense. But something unexpected is unfolding behind the scenes. Not to stop them, not to deny them, but to refine something that neither of you fully sees yet. You might be wondering, why now? Why does it feel like something beautiful is about to happen, yet at the same time, something unseen is gently holding it back? Stay with this feeling. Don't rush past it. Because this is the space where truth quietly forms. There is a delicate balance taking place, one that involves not just their emotions, but your journey as well. You see, what they are preparing to offer is not just a moment. It is a commitment, a merging of paths, a decision that will ripple through both of your lives in ways that go far beyond what either of you can currently imagine. And that kind of moment must be aligned, not just desired. Let me reveal something subtle, something that often goes unnoticed. They are not the only one being prepared. You are too. Yes, even in the moments when you felt still, when nothing seemed to be happening, when you questioned whether things were moving at all, something within you was quietly evolving. Layers were shifting. Old patterns were dissolving. Your heart was learning, growing, becoming ready in ways you didn't consciously track. Because when two paths are meant to meet at a deeper level, both must be aligned in ways that are not always visible on the surface. And right now, that alignment is still completing itself. You might feel a sense of anticipation, like something is just about to happen. That feeling is not an illusion. It is real. But what you may not see yet, is that the timing is being adjusted, ever so slightly, to ensure that when this moment arrives, it lands with clarity instead of confusion. With peace instead of pressure. Because there is something important you need to understand. A proposal is not just about love. It is about timing. And timing is everything. Now listen closely, because this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. They have already made a move, not outwardly, not in a way that others would easily notice, but internally. A decision has been forming. A quiet certainty has been growing within them. They have reached a point where they feel ready to step forward, to speak, to express what has been building inside their heart. But just as they approach that moment, something shifts. Not dramatically, not in a way that causes chaos, but in a way that creates pause. A hesitation that doesn't come from fear, but from something deeper. Almost as if something is gently whispering, "Wait, just a little longer." And they don't fully understand why. This is the twist you didn't expect. The one that changes everything without breaking anything. Because what feels like a delay is actually a refinement. What feels like a pause is actually protection. And what feels like uncertainty is actually alignment taking place at a level beyond what either of you can currently see. Think about this. What if the moment they have planned is almost perfect, but not fully aligned with who you are becoming right now? What if the version of you that is about to emerge in just a little more time is the one that is meant to receive this moment fully, without hesitation, without doubt, without anything unresolved lingering beneath the surface? That is why this pause exists. Not to take anything away from you, but to give you something deeper. You may not hear these words directly, you may not see the exact reason yet, but you will feel it. A subtle shift, a quiet knowing, a sense that something is being arranged, not randomly, but intentionally. And here is something even more profound. They are changing too. In ways they didn't expect. In ways they didn't plan. There are realizations forming within them, truths that are becoming clearer, emotions that are becoming more grounded, more certain, more real. Because love, when it is truly ready, does not rush. It becomes steady. It becomes clear. It becomes undeniable, not just in feeling, but in understanding. And that is what is happening right now. You are both being guided, not apart, but into a more aligned version of this moment. So when it happens, it doesn't just feel right. It feels complete. Let that sink in. Because what is coming is not just a proposal. It is a moment that has been shaped, refined, and aligned in ways you cannot fully see yet. And that is why it carries so much weight. That is why it feels so close, yet just out of reach. That is why your heart senses something, even when nothing has been said yet. Because something important is waiting for you. Not in the distance, but in the timing. And the timing is still unfolding. Just when it seems like everything is about to happen, another layer reveals itself, quietly, almost like a hidden piece of the story that was never meant to be rushed. There is something else you need to understand. Something they haven't fully realized yet. And when they do, it will change the way this moment unfolds entirely. And just when you think you've understood the pause, something even deeper begins to surface. There is a realization forming inside them, slow, quiet, but undeniable. It didn't come all at once. It didn't arrive like a sudden spark. It grew, piece by piece, in moments when they were alone, in thoughts they couldn't ignore, in feelings that refuse to fade. And this realization is changing everything. Because what they thought was the right moment is now being questioned, not out of doubt, but out of clarity. Pause here, feel that difference. It's subtle, but powerful. They are starting to see something they hadn't fully seen before, something about you, something about themselves, something about what this connection truly means beyond the surface. And it's making them slow down. Not because they don't want this, but because now, they want to do it right. There's a difference between wanting to propose and understanding what you're truly stepping into. At first, their heart was leading with emotion. Strong, beautiful, sincere emotion. But now, something deeper is guiding them. Awareness. And awareness changes everything. You might not see it yet, but they've started asking themselves questions they never asked before. Questions that don't come from fear, but from responsibility. From the quiet understanding that what they are about to offer you is not just a moment of joy. It is a promise. And a promise must be held with clarity. Stay with me. Because this is where it becomes even more meaningful. There is something about you, something they've begun to recognize in a new way. Not just your presence, not just your connection, but your depth. The way you feel things, the way you carry emotions, the way your energy responds to truth and authenticity. They're realizing, this isn't something that can be rushed. Because you are not someone who can be met halfway. You feel everything, even the things that are unspoken. And somewhere deep inside, they know this. That's why the pause feels stronger now. Because now, it's not just about them being ready. It's about them being right for you, in the way you truly deserve. And that realization, it humbles them. It softens them. It makes them step back, not to walk away, but to step forward more consciously. You may not hear these thoughts, you may not see this shift outwardly, but it's happening. Quietly. Powerfully. In a space where real transformation begins. And here's the part that might surprise you. This pause is bringing them closer to you. Not farther. Because the more they understand, the more they align, the more their intention becomes clear, not just emotionally, but deeply, truthfully, completely. But something else is unfolding alongside this. Something even more unexpected. There are external movements, small changes around them, conversations, moments, signs they didn't plan, all gently nudging them toward a deeper realization. Almost as if everything around them is participating in this timing. Have you ever felt like life itself slows things down, just before something important happens? That's exactly what this is. Because if this moment had happened earlier, even just a little earlier, something would have been missing. Not in love, but in understanding. And understanding is what turns a beautiful moment into a lasting one. So now, they are standing at a different kind of edge. Not the edge of action, but the edge of truth. And once someone reaches that place, they cannot go back to rushing. They can only move forward, with intention. And that's what they're learning right now. There's a quiet shift happening in the way they see you, the way they feel about this connection, the way they imagine the future. It's no longer just about how much they feel. It's about how deeply they understand what they feel. And that changes the energy completely. You might notice something subtle in the days ahead, a slight difference in their behavior, a quiet presence, a deeper attentiveness, or even moments of distance that feel confusing at first. Don't misinterpret that. It's not distance. It's depth. It's them processing, aligning, becoming someone who can meet you not just emotionally, but fully. Because what they are preparing for is not just a question. It's a life-changing step. And they're starting to realize that you deserve that step to come from a place of complete clarity. Let me ask you something, and sit with it for a moment. Would you rather receive something quickly, or receive something that has been fully understood, fully felt, and fully aligned before it reaches you? Because that's the choice unfolding right now. Not in words, but in energy. And here is where your role becomes quietly important. Because while they are going through this shift, so are you. There are things within you, still settling, still becoming clear, still finding their place. Emotions you've processed, lessons you've learned, parts of yourself that have grown stronger without you even realizing it. You are not the same person you were before. And neither are they. That's why this moment couldn't happen earlier. Because the version of both of you now is closer to alignment than ever before. But not completely there yet. And that final layer, that last piece of clarity, is what's forming right now. You may feel it as a quiet tension, a sense that something is just about to happen, but hasn't fully revealed itself yet. Don't skip past this feeling. Because this is where everything is being finalized. Not rushed. Not forced. But gently, precisely, intentionally. Because what is coming is not meant to be uncertain. It's meant to be clear. And clarity takes time. Even when love is already there. Even when the intention feels strong. Even when everything seems ready on the surface. Because beneath the surface, something deeper is still aligning. And once it does, the hesitation will disappear. The pause will make sense. And the moment they've been holding back will finally unfold. But when it does, it won't be the same as they first imagined. It will be something more. Something neither of you expected. Something that changes not just the moment, but everything that comes after it. And then, without warning, the silence begins to speak. Not in words you can hear, but in a feeling that settles deeper than anything before it. A calm, almost unfamiliar, yet strangely comforting. As if something that was once uncertain has now found its place, quietly, completely, without needing to announce itself. This is where everything transforms. Because the twist you've been sensing, it isn't a disruption. It's a redirection. They are no longer standing where they once were. The version of them that was ready to rush forward, to say the words, to create that moment quickly, has shifted. And in its place, something steadier has taken root. A deeper knowing. And this knowing is what changes the outcome. Pause here, just for a breath. Because what's about to unfold is not what they originally planned. At first, they thought the proposal would be simple. A moment filled with emotion, a question asked, an answer received, and everything falling into place. But now, they understand something they didn't before. That this connection is not meant to follow a simple path. It's meant to unfold, intentionally. And because of that, the way they approach you is changing. Not dramatically, not in a way that creates confusion, but in a way that feels different. More present. More aware. More real. You might notice it in the way they look at you. A little longer than before. In the way they listen, not just to your words, but to the spaces between them. In the way their energy feels, quieter, but somehow more certain. This is not hesitation anymore. This is alignment. Because something inside them has finally settled. They are no longer asking, "Am I ready to propose?" They are asking something deeper. How do I meet you in a way that truly honors this connection? And that question changes everything. Because when someone begins to think like that, their actions no longer come from impulse. They come from intention. And intention reshapes the entire moment. Here is the part you didn't expect, the part that carries the real shift. The proposal is no longer just a proposal. It's becoming something more meaningful, something more personal, something that reflects not just their feelings, but their understanding of you. They're beginning to see that what you need, what you deserve, is not just a question asked at the right time. It's a moment that feels undeniably true. A moment where nothing feels rushed. A moment where everything feels clear, grounded, and fully aligned with who you both are now. And because of that, they are changing the way they approach it. Slowly. Quietly. But completely. You may not see the full picture yet, but pieces of it are already forming around you. Moments that feel slightly different, conversations that carry a deeper tone. Silences that feel full instead of empty. These are not coincidences. They are part of the unfolding. Because when something is being aligned at this level, it doesn't arrive all at once. It reveals itself, layer by layer. And here's something important you need to feel, not just understand. You have not been forgotten in this pause. You have been considered, more deeply than ever before. Every step they are taking right now, every moment of reflection, every shift in their thinking. It is all connected to you. To who you are. To what this connection truly means. And that is why this moment is becoming something neither of you expected. Because it's no longer about reaching a milestone. It's about creating a foundation. And foundations are not rushed. They are built, carefully, intentionally, with awareness of what they are meant to hold. Now let this settle in your heart. Because what's coming next is where the emotional weight begins to rise again. There will be a moment, soon, where everything feels like it's finally about to happen. A moment where their presence feels stronger, clearer, more direct. You may feel it before you see it. A shift in energy, a quiet intensity, a sense that something important is about to be spoken. And in that moment, you might expect everything to unfold exactly as imagined. But here is where the final layer of the twist reveals itself. They won't begin with the question. Not yet. Instead, they will begin with truth. A truth they needed time to understand. A truth about how they see you, how they feel about this connection, how they have changed because of it. And that truth will carry more weight than the question ever could. Because once truth is spoken, the question becomes inevitable. Not forced. Not rushed. But natural. And this is the moment that changes everything. Because when someone reaches that level of clarity, they don't just ask. They know. And when they know, the way they step forward feels completely different. You won't feel pressure. You won't feel uncertainty. You will feel peace. A deep, steady sense that what is happening is exactly as it should be. And that is what this entire pause has been leading toward. Not delay. But depth. Not confusion. But clarity. Not distance. But alignment. So if you've been wondering why it hasn't happened yet, why something feels so close but not fully here, now you understand. It's not because it's being taken away. It's because it's being transformed into something stronger, something clearer, something that reflects not just love, but understanding. And as this final layer continues to settle, there is one more realization, one final shift, that neither of you has fully seen yet. And when that reveals itself, it won't just change the moment. It will redefine what this connection was always meant to become.